You're
Welcome,
listening
everyone,
to the Oddities podcast.
My name is Sal, and I have a very special guest today who I'm not going to introduce yet. So if you see her on YouTube, do not look at her until I've introduced her, because I want to tell you guys how you can win an Xbox One that we're currently giving away right now at the Oddities store that we just opened up on Cordata Parkway. It's at 4182 Cordata Parkway, right next to JR Furniture in the Department of Licensing, behind the Dairy Queen. There is no purchase necessary. You just come on in, fill out the form, and drop it in, and we're going to raffle it off. And we're going to be doing a different giveaway every single month. You guys can also listen to the podcast and win a $25 Amazon gift card if you just submit your questions to questions@odditiespnw.com. And if we read and answer your question on the podcast, you win. So it's that simple. Questions can be about anything you want: business, dating, relationships, whatever you want it to be. We're all experts here, so every advice we give is perfect advice. So submit your questions. I'm going to put that information down in the description box below the video. And so you can just go ahead and email your questions. Come by, support the store. We have organic coffee from Camino Island. All good things. We have gifts, toys, games, all fun stuff. So come in, check it out, and show us some support. So my first guest today, we're going to be talking about selling on Amazon. Not so much the nuts and bolts, but more about just the ups and downs, the stresses, the struggles, the things we've gone through, kind of more from a business owner's point of view. And we're also going to talk about online dating, because that's a lot of fun. So please welcome my guest, Kaitlyn O'Neill, to the podcast. Everyone clap.
Thank you, Sal.
There we go. They need to work on that. So anyways, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
You've been selling on Amazon almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. When you first got started, well, let's go even a little bit further back before that. So 2 years ago, actually, you and I met 3 or 4 years ago at our friend Kim's Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kim. I then dated, at the time, your ex-best friend, I guess we can say. And that didn't go so well. And then you and I were both kind of, at the time, kind of both in relationships, both working, and then fast forward like about a year later, and you slid into my DMs and you wanted me to meet up with you.
Yeah.
To help you maybe possibly talk to me about selling on Amazon, which I agreed to do. And I said, hey, I'm about to go on a road trip. Hit me up when I get back in a few weeks and we could talk about it. And I got back from the road trip. I didn't hear from you. And I thought, okay, well, whatever, because I wasn't going to message you, because I'm like, I know how hard this business is and I know how much work it is. And I'm just like, because you were friends with my ex, you guys were best friends, I'm thinking, there's no way. Because if you're hanging out with her and I know what she's like, I'm just like, you guys have got to be somewhat similar. Mm. So I was thinking, I wasn't super motivated to do it. And then a couple months went by and I randomly ran into you at Kombucha Town, if you remember. Mm-hmm, yeah. And funny enough, you were going up to hang out with her that night too.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I remember. You're like, actually, I'm going up to see her tonight. And so I was like, okay. And then a couple days later, I was like, I really need to hire someone to help me with my Amazon business, to manage my accounts. And I didn't know anyone in town because I hadn't been here very long.
So you called me at a desk.
So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Kaitlyn hit me up. She wants to talk about Amazon. I need to hire somebody. I knew you weren't working, because that's what you told me, Kombucha Town, or you're looking to make money. So I agreed to do it. And what's crazy, now that I think about it, is not only did I help you get started and I hired you and you worked for me for a year, but I also lent you $2,000 to get started.
No, I know.
And I barely knew you.
No,
that's really weird. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
No, I know.
The old me did shit like that. The new me would probably never do something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, thankfully that worked out and you paid me back.
No, I know. I guess you got lucky, because imagine, like, in my mind, of course I'm going to pay someone back. Uh-huh. Like, there would be no possibility that I wouldn't pay someone back that loaned me 1 cent. Yeah. But, like, there's people that would never, they wouldn't even consider paying you back.
Yeah.
They'd be like, thanks.
Yeah, I know. And I was just like, this might be really stupid, but I was like, I need help. She needs help. Like, and it's just weird. We won't go too much further into it, but just how it kind of came together. It still trips me out that you and I became friends out of that whole thing in a really weird way. When you first hit me up to sell on Amazon, like, fast forward 2 years later, has it turned out to be harder than you thought, easier than you thought? Because, you're a business owner, you have employees. Like, what's it been like the last 2 years?
Oh,
as
my
far
God.
as like your expectations in the beginning to what it is now.
I definitely didn't realize how much work it would be. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I guess it's like anything, like you just get what you put into it. And so for the first little while, I mean, starting a business is hard. So I was working really hard in the beginning, but wasn't enough to make it successful. Like it just still took so long.
You have to be insane with it, pretty much.
Yeah, you do.
Every day.
Like you can't take off, and I was totally guilty of that in the beginning. Like I just thought it was like a normal job. Like, you know, whatever, if you take a few days off, like who cares? Or like go on a trip or something. And so I definitely, you know, and after you do that, because like with your Amazon sales, when you send something in, you see the income from that in like, say, like a month or so. So if you take a trip and don't work, then you don't see the dip for like a month. But then you're like, you know, after your trip or whatever it was, long weekends.
It's literally one of those things where
now I'm poor. Like,
and well, it's like, if you're working like 40 hours a week, you get 40 hours a week worth of results. You know, you buy however much you can buy in a week, and then you resell it and you get those results. And if you're just doing 40 hours a week, that's the result. But then when you say you take 2 weeks and you don't work, that you literally 50% reduction, like you literally just lose half. And so it's impossible to like have a business where you're making money and to have it grow. You need to work the same amount of hours you're working every week just to maintain what you have, and then you have to work more to make it grow even bigger.
Yeah, and I think before I started this, my like life goal was to make the most amount of money working the least amount. But I didn't like with this Amazon thing, like I have actually fully changed my mindset and realized like that's not possible.
It's like
it's just not possible.
Well, it's definitely like it's so long term. Like you have to put in years of work. Like when I first started my Amazon business, I didn't pay myself anything for 2 years. Yeah. Because I was waiting tables.
I actually didn't pay myself anything until I quit working for you. I think I paid myself maybe $1,000 or $2,000 for the whole year.
Yeah. Because people don't realize,
I was completely broke the whole year.
I mean, I've known so many people who have sold on Amazon and quit. Yeah. Just because it's just like, I know people who, when I first started selling on Amazon, I knew a guy who had been selling on there for 6 years and was still delivering pizzas. I met people who sold for a year and a half and quit. This other lady who would like buy shoes wholesale by the pallet, quit, went back to being an accountant. Like in order to make like good money, you have to do insane sales. Yeah. Like so much. And it's just crazy. Like you're not going to get rich off of it. You have to use it to like fund other businesses and just grow into other things because it's just like, I mean, it's like the amount of stuff you have to buy just to make like above average money is insane. And the amount of hours. Oh yeah. Like if you want to make $1,000, you have to spend $10,000. Yeah. Like just on inventory, not to mention paying people to work for you and like paying for a warehouse. Like, it's crazy. Like, so you really have to like have that money. Yeah. You have to live to even start the business. You have to live like a minimalist lifestyle because you have to put all the money back in. Because like even though you make that profit, well, if you want to get bigger, that has to just go back into your business. Yeah. So then you like literally don't pay yourself almost anything. I mean, last year I lived off my tax return for 4 or 5 months and didn't pay myself anything. I just lived off it. Yeah. Like I'm like I need the money. Like. So yeah. So it's been pretty crazy, but. And I haven't even gotten my tax return back for like since like January. So do you feel good about like the direction you're going? Do you feel like it's getting better? You're making more money. It's growing. Definitely, yeah. And what would you say has been the hardest part of not only just selling on Amazon, but being a business owner in general? Let's start with that. What's the hardest part of selling on Amazon, you would say? If someone was to ask you, which I am, what, in terms of the whole business, like what do you find the most challenging or the most difficult to do? I mean, I think just the fact that you have to do everything and that it starts like when I wake up, so like Will, my boyfriend, has been an extremely good influence on me as far as being really productive. Like he has a successful family and he's very successful. And so he's been like, as far as like waking up super early, going for a workout immediately, like a hard workout. So like I would say like, so lately, so I get up now at 4:40 in the morning. And like, what time do you go to bed? Well, I asked you what's the hardest part. 6 p.m. Well, I asked you like what's the hardest part of being selling on Amazon, would you say? Yeah. Yeah, so I would like I wake up and I just look at my phone and I have like 5 messages from virtual assistants. I have all these like I'll see like emails from people I'm trying to hire or other things and it's like, oh my God, it's just 24/7. That would be the hardest thing. Yeah. It's dealing with every possible problem. And dealing with it 24/7. And dealing with it every day. Like, and it doesn't, there's no day off. Like, I think that was, and if you take a day off, like, you're totally screwing yourself. Yeah. Because I'll be, like, watching a movie at, like, 8:30 or 9 p.m. And, like, the VAs are messaging me on Skype. And they're like, this ain't working, that ain't working.
Oh yeah, constantly.
What do you want us to do with this? And then I have to run upstairs to my computer and get on there and try to like, solve the problem. So it's just like, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I got messages. As soon as late at night, all the time. Yeah. And it's just like, there's no, even when I'm on vacation, I'm still on my computer, in the morning or at night, like wrapping up, checking emails. And like, so there's no ever days off. No. Yeah. So that's the thing about like doing this business. And I think a lot of businesses in general too.
Yeah. Well, and like, like I was talking to Will and he was saying like, to be profitable in your second year of business, that's not most businesses. Oh no. Like most businesses, you might go 2, 3, 4 more years without really being profitable. Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people fall off is because they think you're just going to start, bringing in the money right away. Yeah. And it's so far from the truth. Oh, yeah. It takes, I didn't like, so I lived with my parents for the first 2.5 years. And then it wasn't until maybe 4 or 5 years in, working like 80 to 100 hours a week, every single day, no days off, that I finally would start paying myself like above average, like decent money. Like it just takes so much work. And I think so many people, I think unless you're just a natural entrepreneur or business owner, or you're just super passionate about what you're doing, if you get into this business specifically because you think it's going to be a nice paycheck, you're screwed. Yeah. Because it's like going to college and just picking a job that typically makes a lot of money because you just want to make a lot of money. Like you're going to be an engineer or whatever, but like you're not passionate about it and you hate it, you're going to burn out. You're just going to quit. Yeah. You have to like love this because it requires so much sacrifice. And I just remember, I've told this story before to other people. Last year, I remember I was standing in the office in my house and it was like the first sunny day of spring or summer. It was like 70, it was nice out and sunny. And it's a Saturday and I'm sitting there working and I'm thinking, fuck man, everyone's at like the beach, the park, they're outside, it's sunny. And I'm just like, I got things that need to be done. Like sales were slow this week. I'm trying to grow my business. And in my mind, I'm always like, at this moment, like the average person would say, fuck it, I'm going out. And I was just like, I don't want to be average. Like I want it so bad that I'm willing to say, fuck it, I'm not going out. I'm going to stay in and do it. Yeah. And I remember early on, the first few years when I was trying to build up my business, I was friends with people selling on Amazon. I remember this very specifically. The weekend was coming up and I said, hey man, what are you doing this weekend? And he's like, we were planning to go, he lived in Portland, I lived in Washington. We were planning to go out to stores and like scan clearance and retail stuff that was on sale to try to resell on Amazon. And so over the weekend, I went out, bought a bunch of stuff. And then on Monday, I was like, hey man, how'd the weekend go? Did you get a lot of stuff? And he's like, no, there was this party Friday night, my friend's birthday party downtown Portland. Went to this bar. It was crazy. And the next day I was like hungover and didn't go out at all. And at that moment I knew, I'm like, we're different. Like you're never going to make it because it's like that simple. If you go to your party, I would go 1 or 2 drinks out at 10 so I could wake up early and go to work, but stayed up late, got drunk, hungover, didn't do nothing on the weekend, and then he quit a year and a half later. Yeah. And it's like, you're never going to make it if that's your attitude. Like you can't treat this like a Monday through Friday gig and then you go party and get fucked up on the weekend. Yeah. Like it's every day.
I totally realized that this is not a normal job. Like if you want, like, yeah, you can't do that. You can do that if you have like a normal, like a salary job or a 9 to 5. Like it doesn't matter if you, but if you can't function the next day, like that'll cost you hundreds of dollars, if not more. Insane.
And you're never going to grow. And I just remember like when I was still waiting tables, I would wake up at like 6 a.m. on Friday because I started, without getting too deep into it, I started with this $300 going to thrift stores and garage sales. And so, because that's all the money I had, I was a broke college student living at my parents' house. I would wake up Friday at 6 a.m., hit all the garage sales, which I had already planned to hit from Wednesday. I pulled up all the ads on Craigslist. I circled all the ones I was going to go to. I'd hit all those.
Sal, you are different.
I am very different. I'd buy all that stuff and then go to work a double, waiting tables from like 10:30 to 9, go to bed, wake up again at 6 a.m. on Saturday, hit all those garage sales, go work another double. And then on Sunday, I would package, list, process all that stuff and ship it out Monday. And that's what I did for 2.5 years. And all I did was just work nonstop. And it's just like, even now, like last year, I remember I was driving in my car and I came to a stoplight and I was just working so much. I was so exhausted. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Because it's just like, you work so much. You're like, this is insane. Yeah. Like, unless there's a big payoff, like it's nuts. So.
Yeah, no. And I would say you work like 99 times harder than I do. So well, it was funny because like one of my good friends came to visit me last week and she and I used to have so much in common. Like, all we wanted to do was like go to yoga and like go on walks and like just go traveling a lot. And it was funny because she came to visit me and I was just telling her about like, this is my life now. Like I work really hard and like I have this business and I'm busy like all the time. And she was like, wow, like you must hate your life. And I was thinking, no, I hated my life before. Like I honestly love my life now. Like even though I'm so busy and I don't have a lot of time, like the feeling of like success and actually doing something is way better than having free time. And like, and like she works at like, she's like 30 in her like early 30s and she like works at Starbucks and her husband wants her to get a job. She works part-time and her husband wants her to get a job because like he's just a single, you know, he doesn't make a lot of money and she doesn't want to get a job and she doesn't want to go to school. Like just the difference between like, and we've talked about this before, like your friends who don't have any ambition or motivation whatsoever. And then when you do, it's like, they're
just quickly gone.
It's just like, I don't even like you anymore. Like, you know, because, even people you used to be good friends with.
Because, and I felt that I had 3 really good friends who I was friends with for like 14 to 16 years where I literally just don't even talk to anymore. Because it's like, also being a business owner, we deal with so much stress and obstacles every single day that we have to resolve and overcome that it kind of hardens you. Like it makes your mind, it's almost like a constant mental workout. You're always having to use your mind to like fix things, solve things, make things run better. So you're having to be so disciplined and responsible, like always, that it like changes you to where
makes you like really unfun.
Because when you then encounter people who complain about trivial shit, you're like you should
try doing one day.
Like see, I mean, just this week alone, I mean, the amount of shit that we've had to deal with. Like so for the store, we were going to carry Rocket Donuts in our store in Bellingham. They've been in business 7 to 10 years. I met with the manager. And the only place you can get Rocket Donuts is at their shops in Fairhaven and downtown Bellingham. Like, I was like, would you guys be interested or willing to let us carry your donuts in the coffee shop wholesale? And they're like, we'll talk about it. We were going to be like the first coffee shop to have their donuts and stuff like this. And we met with the manager, gave us wholesale pricing and everything. And I had these sandwich board signs made with their logo that they emailed me so we could use it and everything. And then Zoe over here told Tori that they're no longer going to carry donuts, and they're just not anymore. I'm like, what? Like
the company Rocket Donuts, is not going to.
And like nobody told me. We had these signs made, which cost hundreds of dollars, and then I called them. I'm like, are you guys? You know, I talked to the manager.
Getting out of the donut business.
The original person I talked to no longer worked there. And there's just going to be strictly Acme ice cream now because the same guy who owned Rocket Donuts owns Acme. And no one told me. And so then I had to go.
And here you show up at their place, like probably wearing like a donut.
Right.
Like, what, guys?
Yeah. And so then I had to go have new sandwich boards made that just say donuts because I found another donut company. But that cost me $200.
Yeah.
That was just wasted. And it's like you're constantly losing money. It's just things outside your control. I mean, there's so many products we find that are wrong. And it's like, I mean, this week alone, I've lost hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So unless you are the type of person that can deal with stress and frustration in a very professional way, it's just going to break you eventually. And that's why so many people quit and go home and just get a job because it's like you have to have a strong coping mechanism, like a healthy coping mechanism because God, the last problem we had with these we had, I don't want to say the company name, maybe I'll edit that out. we had these jogger sweatpants, which I told you about.
Oh yeah, what about
the
them?
company starts with an A.
Yeah.
So we ordered them, right?
I'm about to order them.
No, you can. Yeah, it's all good. The UPS tried to deliver them, and they left a little UPS pickup notice because we weren't there. They tried to deliver them to the unopened coffee shop at the time, and I took the slip. We went to the distribution center. The guy brought out 2 boxes, gave them to us. I'm like, thank you. And then we get like an email or a call from the company that 2 boxes came back to them from the UPS and charged them $50 to return it. So when I went to the UPS to pick them up, instead of the guy bringing out 4 boxes, he only brought out 2. He forgot to bring out the other 2. So UPS sent them back and charged them $50 for the return. So like, you guys need to pay us $50 for these return packages, and then you need to pay us again so we can ship them back out to you. So we paid $60.
You had to pay for shipping.
Yeah. So originally we paid $66 for shipping. Then they wanted us to pay them the other $50 for the return, and then another $66. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. That was the UPS's fault.
Yeah.
So I literally had to
So what happened?
I had to make 5 or 6 trips back to the UPS distribution center. The guy's like, I'll have my manager call you. Have my manager call you. Days go by. No one calls. I went back 2 or 3 times before finally someone talked to me. Long story short, they said that they refunded back to their account. And then the company said, no, they didn't. They only refunded the return shipping fee, not the original shipping fee. So then I had to go back to the UPS. And it's just like, I had to make 6 trips there before we finally got the issue resolved. But this is just like...
Good thing you had nothing else to do that
day. My day was completely open. And so this is just like daily stuff.
Yeah.
This isn't like once a week or every now and then. This is every day.
Yeah.
I don't even call them problems anymore. It's just my new normal.
Yeah.
And it's just like, unless you are good, because you get really stressed out when you have your day planned out and you're like, this is how my day's going to go. And typically you predict your day will go this way. And then as soon as something happens that doesn't
you get like 2 hours into the day and the whole thing's off. Yeah.
It's like if you work a job, you're like, okay, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to shower, I'm going to eat, I'm going to drive to work, I'm going to wait tables, do my thing, da-da-da-da. But on the way to work, you get a flat tire. That's a problem, and you get stressed out and like, fuck, now what? That's my life every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to be able to handle that. So what's been, forget Amazon, just being like a business owner and also having employees, what's been the hardest part of that, would you say?
Having the employees. No, so living in Point Roberts, like the town I live in has 1,000 people, as you know, literally like 1,000 people. So, I mean, that's a pretty small workforce to choose from. Plus everyone in the town is retired pretty much. Like it's just a lot of older people. So there's not like, there aren't like girls like
these
that.
people here, which no one can see because off camera.
Smart, young, good people.
These are all smart, young, good people. Yes.
But yeah, so definitely that. And I mean, because like right now, for example, like with my current employee, like she's working very slow. Like she's working at about half the speed that she should. And on top of that, so like the shipping basically involves like unpacking the boxes, prepping the items, listing them in the computer, putting stickers on and shipping them out, right?
Yeah.
So I've been unpacking the boxes and listing them in the computer, which takes like a few hours off her job every day. But yet it still takes her like 2 days to get out.
All she does is like label.
It's like I either have to fire her and then just do all the work myself, or just like be like, oh,
put up with it.
Because I've asked her, I've like talked to her a bunch of times, and she's like, I don't think you know how much work this is. Like, I'm like, trust me, I do. Like, but anyway, so just that has been like for my own personal business, like the biggest challenge is just dealing with like just the employee turnover that I've had.
You've had it rough. You've had it rough for sure.
Yeah, I would say that's by far the biggest challenge. And then like actually, I mean, my business last year was not profitable, as I shared with you. And that was because of I had to hire and like I had talked to my accountant. She was like, yeah, you had your employee costs were way too high. They were like double. Remember you and I had talked, and mine was the same as mine was like double yours, but I had only half the amount of stuff or something like that.
You're doing half the amount of volume in terms of the number of units and sales.
But I like double the cost of
because your workers are so slow that they have to. Yeah.
So it just like stuff like that, and then that affects like everything. Like then I don't have as much money to buy stuff, and like
this is something I think about a lot.
And I don't have enough money to pay rent. Like
being a business owner, you have to have a certain skill set in a lot of different areas. Like you can't just enjoy and be good at buying and selling. You also have to know how to manage finances. And then if you notice you're not pulling in enough money or things are going to be tight, you then have to have the skill set to know how to make adjustments so that you're not screwed. You have to then be like, where can we cut back? What do we need to do? Instead of going for a 15% ROI, maybe we're only going to buy 20 or 25% ROI items now. Maybe instead of buying 10 of this or 20 of that, we're only going to buy 5 of that. Or like this item, I noticed toys or video games are really volatile and they're tanking really fast. So maybe we're just going to ignore those items. And I know you've made some smart adjustments over time, but that's just, you can't just be good at like one thing. You have to be good at the bookkeeping, the accounting, the managing the finances. You have to be good at training. You have to be good at communicating. I mean, there's like so many things. You have to have the discipline to like work when you don't want to. And like when you're sick, when you're tired, you still have to go. Like there's just so many things that come into it.
No, I know.
You have to be able to make sacrifices when people want you to go out and play and have fun, and you're like, you can't, like you have to turn down. so many things. And I rationalize it in my mind as like, I'm going to make all these sacrifices for years where I don't go out that much. I don't do really anything. But then the payoff will be, I'll be able to retire so much earlier than everybody else. But hopefully I'll be able to live a nice life where I have a nice house, nice car, nice clothes. I get to stay in the nicest places and like eat at the nicest restaurants. Like that's the long-term payoff. Otherwise it's not fucking worth it. Like if you're not going to get more out of this than you would from working a job, I would never fucking... I would
way more work.
Way
more work.
Hard all the time. So do you ever think back to like your personality or mindset 2 years ago compared to now? Like what ways do you think it's changed from having to deal with the business and everything? And you touched on it a little bit, but do you find like you cope with stress and frustration better? Or, I mean, you mentioned the friend thing, which I can totally relate to. You kind of just, it puts you in a different mindset for sure, but have you noticed anything specific or?
Well, I would say like I've always dealt with stress very poorly. Like I'm always like constantly stressed and anxious. But since I've started working harder, I honestly am less stressed. Yeah. And since I've been dealing with more problems, I'm less stressed because
it's almost opposite of what you think.
Yeah, like I think the more time I relax and try to like take time off, like and just try to like okay, I just need to like take a day off and just mellow out and like not be like spiraling out of control.
Well, 2 years ago,
then I'm actually more stressed because of all the stuff I have to do.
Well, 2 years ago, you used to have really bad anxiety.
Yeah.
Like crippling.
No, totally.
Like what was that story? Tell that story real quick if you don't mind.
God.
When you're working at a restaurant and you had to leave and you were driving. You told me this. You were driving back to Bellingham.
That was like the first time I ever had an anxiety attack.
You thought you were like dying or something, right?
That was so bad. Yeah, like. It like gives me like anxiety to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was like working at a restaurant and like I just right there, like while I was taking someone's order, I was like, oh my God, like I think I'm having an anxiety attack. And I like couldn't even hear them. And I was just like, I gotta go. And I just like walked back and I was like, cause I was supposed to put their order in and I was like, I don't even remember like what they looked like or what, like my brain just shut off or like what they even said. And I was like, and then I just was like literally having an anxiety attack. I was like about to faint and like, just like a regular old anxiety attack.
Yeah.
And then, I was driving home and I was like blacking out and it was just an anxiety attack. Like that's all it was. Yeah. But like, it was scary. And like, I almost didn't even make it home. Yeah. Like I shouldn't have driven. That was stupid. But like, that was the only time that had happened at that point. So like, I didn't really know. Yeah. I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. Yeah.
And then when we first met in the coffee shop, when we first got started, you remember that? Like, I was really sick because my illness was undiagnosed. I was like, I felt like hell. I was dying. And like, I was literally dying. And, you and I just got out of some bad relationships. You and I are just both in a horrible place.
Like, seriously.
We were both so broken. And we started working together and like, I told you this before, working with you actually helped me because I was able to focus my energy and attention on something else, helping you and like training you. And that helped me so much because I was so sick. I could barely move. I was horrible. Oh my God, I'm still sick. I'm still in the process. I've been in treatment for a year and a half. I'm still working on getting better. But that was horrible. But how soon did the anxiety like start to dissipate when we started to work together? Like, because you and I were meeting a lot. You were coming to my house. I was going to your place. We were just working. Like, did you start to feel better like fairly soon after that, or like at what point?
Like, I guess like in a way, like having something to do and some money is like obviously gonna make your anxiety feel better. But like, it didn't really stop until like. Probably like a year later until my business was like more underway and like a little bit more stable. Cause I think like my anxiety actually spiked for a while because suddenly I have like this like terrible business that's causing me all this stress, so it's like, I think it definitely went up for a while. And then now it's like more like everything's like a little more under control.
One thing I've noticed too, which I wouldn't have known unless I was a business owner, kind of going back to what you said earlier, is like when you do really hard shit that's challenging, that requires you to be disciplined, it like, when you do something that's really hard and you succeed and you keep doing it, even though you feel sick or you feel tired or you feel anxious, but you do it anyway, the reward you get in your brain, that little dopamine bump when you accomplish that goal, is so rewarding and reinforcing that then you continue to do hard shit, like kind of like you just continue to push forward. And I think the more hard stuff you challenge yourself with, the stronger you become mentally, I think. Because you get so used to dealing with really hard adversity that it just becomes your new normal.
Yeah.
And so like the average things that I used to get upset about in normal real life that a lot of people get upset about, like don't even move the needle for me. Like when I lose like thousands of dollars, like I remember when the first time I lost like $2,000, like the first couple years I was selling on Amazon, I was fucking angry and stressed for 3 weeks. I just could not stop thinking about it. I was so like just
upset over it.
I couldn't stop. I was just so because I couldn't do anything about it. It's like all this money.
Was that from like a private label?
It was an item I had bought that Amazon blocked and wouldn't let me sell because the company complained that other people were selling their product on Amazon. And so I got stuck with these micro abrasion like diamond tipped kits that were like $300 or $150 each. Like I bought a bunch of them.
God.
It took me years to sell them off, but nowadays, like when a problem happens or I lose money, like it doesn't even faze me. It's just like nothing. Like my heart, nothing changes.
Yeah.
My life is just, I'm just so
Stone
numb.
cold.
I mean, I'm just so like used to it. And I think that just comes from continually doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Like, and probably also now you're better equipped to actually deal with those things. So when they do happen again, which they do, then you just actually know how to better handle them.
Well, I think so many people try to avoid problems and stress, or they avoid the difficult shit. But if you can just go all in on it and just continually do it and stay disciplined with it, your life becomes easier. And all those things become less of a worry. And I found that to be true, like in my own life. Like it's so hard now for me to have a bad day. Like the whole world would have to come down almost because I'm so used to I'm so used to just so much shit happening.
Yeah.
That's like I go home, I don't even think about it. I go home, just live my life, and it's almost like that's work and this is this. And also, like you and I had it. We were talking about getting scammed on Amazon with customers earlier on the phone today.
Oh yeah, that really pissed me off.
Yeah, and it's just like I kind of became. The first step for me to deal with stress and frustration better was to just to almost get like a robot mentality. It'd be like, this is a problem, solve it. Whether you have to send an email or do whatever, done. Next, do this. Next, do this. Rather than, what the fuck? And like getting worked up emotionally and then go on to the next problem. God damn it. All this shit. And then you go to the next one like, oh my God. You know, and then pretty soon you're just going to be a mess.
Yeah.
You're going to be tense. You're just going to be a wreck. And then when you have to manage people and work with people, it's going to affect everything. So you just have to be just totally like, also like, this is what we chose to do. Like no one's forcing us to do this. We chose to do it. So it's like to complain about an aspect of the business that just comes with it. It's like jumping in water to go swimming and you get mad because you got wet. It's like, that's just what happens. Like if you sell products, you're going to get returns. You're going to get people that try to scam you. You're going to lose money. And that's true of any business. If you own a restaurant, people drop plates. I've had people dine and dash, like in the restaurant, where they eat and leave and not pay. Every business gets hit with scams and bad investments, and it's just the way it is. So. Yeah. Cool. So let's. Is there anything else we should cover on Amazon in itself? I want to say this though. One of the hardest things about selling on Amazon is the seller support. Let's talk about that for 1 second, and then we'll move on to the online dating.
Although I will say I had a great experience today.
You did?
Yeah.
With
so
what?
I had this review. So it was those like stupid Smashbox Halo makeup powders that I mentioned. So the VAs bought the wrong size. They bought like the 0.25 ounce, but it was supposed to be the 0.5 ounce. So I think it's like half the size.
Didn't we have this conversation today about those? Yeah, I had the same conversation. She caught that shit today. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can talk, by the way, too, if you want to. That's okay.
So I got a 1-star review from this lady who said, I ordered this product and I got the 0.25. And then I contacted Amazon support and they said I could return it at Kohl's because it was convenient for me.
Well, yeah, that's right, because they're partnered with them. Yeah.
Oh, are they? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She goes, then I ordered again and I received the same wrong size. I am furious. And I was like, fuck, I sent her the wrong one by accident. And so I contacted Amazon support and I said, like, I just kind of made Small shut up. I just said, well, I think the reason she's mad is because someone from Amazon support told her to return it at Kohl's. Like, basically, she said she could return it to Kohl's the first time, but she wasn't allowed the second time, and that's why she was mad.
Oh, okay.
So I pointed that out,
and
they were like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, it must not have been the fact that it was the wrong product. It must have been that."
Yeah.
And they removed it. I was like, "Wow!" Like, it was the only time I've ever
Sometimes
gotten a
you get lucky.
thing.
I would say this: the most stressful part for me, and continues to be the most stressful part for me, is Amazon. The seller support. It causes me the most amount of stress. Without going into details on all the horror stories, for those of you who don't sell on Amazon, the support is almost non-existent. Like, and I saw this article, I think it was in the New York Times, where a lot of Amazon sellers complained, and the Amazon PR machine went to work, and they said, we offer 24/7 customer support to all the sellers. But as you know, that's very basic surface level shit. How do I add a product? How do I create a shipment? How do I reprice my inventory? If you have anything else that requires another department to get involved, I mean, I had cases that took 10 months to get resolved.
Yeah.
Where it took them 10 months to fix a mistake that they made, and I still lost $1,000 on it, plus all the sales I would have had for 10 months. That's a whole other podcast because it's a longer story. I'm not going to get into it. But like,
Amazon seller support, they're actually, like, the way I think of it is, all they do is just protect Amazon's policies.
Yeah.
And just repeat Amazon's like, they don't actually help the sellers, like, at all.
At all. They give a fuck.
Repeat the policies of Amazon, and that's why they can't help you.
Oh my God.
Like, that's what they do.
There's just like nightmare story. Just recently, a box was sent in from my manufacturer directly to Amazon. The box was 1 inch over the 25-inch limit. They wanted to charge me $50, and they blocked all my shipments until I resolved the issue and acknowledged it. And I wrote them back. I'm like, I'm not paying you guys $50 because the box is 1 inch over length. And the box was like kind of smashed, so it kind of bowed out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how about
I just had the exact same thing.
I was like, how about you go remeasure it when because it was damaged because of UPS and warehouse handling. And then they said, okay, that was our error, and they fixed it.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing, and I just said the contents must have shifted. Like, you can't, like, the boxes actually say on them 24 by 18 by 24. Like, how could it be 25?
Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. And all the emails Amazon sends you are always threatening. They're always like, if you don't comply with our policies, we might not allow you to sell on Amazon anymore. They're always threatening to suspend you 24/7.
Which they will sometimes.
Which you did get suspended a year ago.
I know. I was thinking about that because I was thinking, like, because that completely screwed my Christmas over. Because I was suspended for like 3 weeks, I think. And wasn't it for the job? Yes. Because some customer...
We'll beep that out.
Well, yeah. Some customer said they were fake, but it was really trying to get us off the listing. Yep. Beep that out, too.
Yeah. I mean, I had one listing, the organizers that we sell, where... I'm not going to say the name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where the guy hijacked the listing. He changed the brand name and the manufacturer to his company name, then filed a trademark infringement against us with Amazon. Amazon then blocked us, and I have 80 units that I can't get back, which there's another loss, $400.
Yeah.
And I emailed the executive team 3 times and seller support, no response, no help. They basically hijacked the listing, got us kicked off, and all that money's... And, like, you can't get help. There's no one you can call. There's nothing you can do. They don't give a fuck.
No, I know.
And it's just, like, shit like that happens all the time, not once every 5 years, all the time. And it's like you can't talk to anyone on the phone. The basic level shit you can. And I've talked to the executive team on the phone because sometimes they'll call you. And when you talk to them, it's almost like they don't even know. Like, they're so out of touch with the sellers on their platform. Every seller I talk to that sells on Amazon that's had any type of success talks about how horrendous, it's almost criminal how bad the support is. And they're always like, gotta get off of Amazon. It's horrendous. So 2 doors down in this warehouse, a guy sells on Amazon. He does really well. He said selling on Amazon is like having a girlfriend who's like really good in bed, but is a fucking nightmare. So you don't want to break up with her because the sex is really good. You know, which it is because you make so much money selling on there. At the same time, it's fucking a nightmare.
Yeah.
If that didn't exist, I would be so relieved. But it's just like, it's almost criminal how bad it is. It's gotten worse too over time. Well, I'll touch on this last point, and then we'll go on to the dating thing. But Amazon recently, as of like 6 months to 8 months ago, they decided that if you wanted to have like a dedicated case manager to help you manage your account, because that's been the complaint of sellers for years. We cannot talk to anybody on the phone to resolve our issues. It gets passed on to another department where we can't email or communicate with that other department. We're totally at the mercy of just whenever they get back to us. And a lot of times when they email you back, it's just a cookie cutter answer that doesn't even answer your question. So you have to follow up 5 times, or you have to wait 10 months, sometimes 8 months to get a response. And so Amazon started doing this thing where they're like, you can have a dedicated account manager and they'll help you with your cases and stuff. They can't actually do anything. They can tell you what you need to do and how to write your appeals and your emails. And we pass it on to the other departments that handle it, and we'll prioritize it at like the top of the queue. And the amount you have to pay for that service is based on your amount of sales. They wanted me to pay $3,500 a month to have this dedicated case manager, which I can only talk to a couple times a month, which is...
Right, because you were limited on the amount of communication.
The guy 2 doors down, who I just told you about, they wanted to charge him $9,000 a month.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I looked at my records for last year. I paid Amazon over $500,000 last year in fees and commissions. They made $500,000 off of me last year, and they can't even...
And they want another $36,000.
And they want another $35,000, like $40,000 a year to provide help that isn't even what Amazon sellers are really asking for. We want someone that we can talk to so we can explain, hey, this guy hijacked this listing. I got 80 units that Amazon won't send back to me, because if someone makes a claim against you for selling counterfeit or trademarked goods, Amazon holds them and won't give them back to you. So they're literally holding all that inventory because some other seller is doing a scam.
But then, like,
it's just insane.
As for their other policy, they could just sell those themselves.
Yep.
They can just take.
They'll just keep them and sell themselves,
and then sell them.
It's fucking nuts. And people don't know. It's horrendous.
No, I know. Because the thing is, like, nothing they do has to do with, like, the law. Like, they don't actually... Or, like, even moral things. Like, they just make their own policies that are just Amazon. That's just what it is. Like, it's not like, oh, like the first sale doctrine or whatever.
Yeah, yes.
Like, that's a legal thing. But it doesn't matter with Amazon because they make their own rules.
Yeah. It's just crazy. So someone can literally say, this product's counterfeit. And you can literally get suspended for that.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah. Someone
but
can
it was
literally,
the company itself.
People can just make random claims.
Made the product to try to get me off the listing.
It's just so nuts. So it's a clusterfuck. So, but then you think, well, do I want to just pack my bags and go get a job? Well, no, because I still make so much more money doing this. But these are the stresses you have to deal with when you sell on Amazon. I honestly thought about starting a YouTube channel where all I do is share the horror stories of Amazon sellers, where I go into this more detail on each of these things about how it happened. And then I literally could fill a whole fucking channel every single day for the next 1,000 years of all these Amazon sellers emailing me their horror stories.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just insane. I've literally had Amazon employees say, yes, you can send this to our warehouse. And then they send it in and like, nope, you can't send it. We're going to dispose of all these units and you're not going to get reimbursed for it. Like, it's just fucking crazy. So
no, I know. And remember, like I told you with that SkinCeuticals, the sunscreen, I actually did get that resolved.
Oh, because did they reimburse you?
No, I managed to get the certificate or whatever from the company by miracle.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they actually did send me the correct one. Like, whatever.
Wow, that's nuts. You got lucky there.
On the last day. And I was like sending them emails. I was like, please, whatever you do. I was like begging. I was like, do whatever you do. Please don't dispose of my inventory. It's $800. So you're like, this will like ruin my business. Like, it'll be such a huge loss. Like, I'm a young female entrepreneur, like, please don't do this, just give me more time. Like, I was like, I beg you, like, literally I was like talking like that.
Oh my God, I know. So like,
it's like they just don't care.
They could give a fuck. So that's it's pretty fucking horrible. I will say this, just to put a positive spin on it, Amazon has changed my life. Like 1,000%. Yeah. Like, without them, I mean, I have 14 employees, soon to be more when I hire baristas, but I wouldn't be able to like afford the house I live in by myself now without that, or buy my car, or take my daughter to Europe, or like make the down payment on her car, or like, I mean, I've been able, because I've made good money doing this, but it's still not easy. It's very stressful dealing with it. So
it definitely takes someone who, it takes a certain personality type.
You gotta have thick fucking skin. I've literally known people who have quit, who sold on Amazon for 3 years and just couldn't handle the stress and quit. Yeah. And just sell on eBay and Poshmark and Etsy now because like they can't fucking handle it.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. Literally this Sunday, I was like, I'm not even looking at my email today, because every time I look at it, problem this, problem that.
This is suspended.
It's just like, this is suspended. This is counter. I'm just like, I can't deal today. I'm just chilling the fuck out, and I'm going to play video game. I'm not even looking. Because a lot of times I'll be on my phone, I'll just hit my little email thing just to see and scroll. See if there's anything. I'm like, not today, motherfuckers. I'm just chilling. Because every day it's like, God. So,
no, I know.
Anyways, let's move on to the last thing. We'll wrap this up. I want to talk about online dating because this is fun, dude. Tinder and Bumble are so much fun. Like, give a couple horror stories that you've told me about, like, dates you've had or people you've met on there. Because I think it's fucking hilarious. First of all, it's the worst way to meet people nowadays. I think probably when it first came out, it was good. Tinder and Bumble, the online dating. But now it's so saturated, like, you just meet the flakiest fucking... Which is funny because my daughter's actually going on a date with a guy she met on Tinder tonight. But anyways... You meet the, it's like people are so flaky.
Yeah, I don't think people use that as like an actual dating site. It's just like a social media for like getting attention.
Getting a little dopamine bump when you match or like staring at images and doing this. Because I literally don't really feel anything when I match with somebody because I know it's not really going to go anywhere. Dude, they're not going to respond. They're not going to show. They're going to flake. Or we're going to talk back and forth for a few minutes and then they're going to disappear. Yeah. It's just like, stupid. The dates I have gone on, I was just on a date like last Saturday, I think, with a girl I met on Bumble. Like, she had only been on there for like a week. Mm-hmm. And the dates, I've gone on a few dates with people where they had only been on for like a week. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the sweet spot. When you
not lifers.
Yeah, when you meet people who have only been on a short time, they're new to it. So they're like, they don't know. They're not so desensitized yet and like just burnt out. So when they actually do match, they actually do talk and then they actually do meet you. Mm-hmm. And that's been the point where I've had the most success in meeting up with people. But I've been off and on with dating apps, and I'll literally go on there like a year later and see the same fucking people on there. Yeah. I'm like, really? Fucking year went by, you met nobody? Especially if you're a girl, because you're probably matching with fucking hundreds of dudes. Because some dudes will literally just swipe right on everybody until they get a hit. Yeah. And it's just like, come on. And I talk to girls who are on these dating apps and they're like, yeah, literally, like, I have like, they'll show me like, just like all this. And I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to sort through all that? And I always imagine all those matches you've had, if those were people were all standing in front of you, lined up in a row, say there's like 100 people, you mean out of these 100 guys right here, not a single one you're compatible with or would work for you, you're fucked up. Like, that's you at that point, right? Yeah. So I don't know, but like, you told me some interesting stories about guys that like showed up for like an hour late to dinner. Like, share some of your crazy fucking nightmare stories. Do you remember that?
It's been so long since I've even thought about this, but what you have to remind me.
You told me you had like 3 dates set up in one day or something, and you were supposed to meet a guy for dinner, and he showed up like an hour late.
Oh yeah, so that's how I was in Vancouver with actually, and she and
we'll beep that name out. We don't speak that name in this fucking house. Just kidding. That's my ex-girlfriend, by the way. Ignore that.
Yeah. So we were, so she and I were planning on going to Vancouver, and we were both like looking online at like whatever, like Tinder and other sites. And we're like, wait, maybe we can find someone to go on a date. Oh, wait, no, Plenty of Fish. That's what it was. And then, so, because you know how flaky people are. You literally have to set up 3 dates in one day because 2 are going to flake out for sure. And so, 2, I think, flaked out. And then one of them showed up an hour late and was just acting like a total asshole. And I was like, I had told them, I'm just here with my friend. This is like not like a real date. This is just like casual. Like, come have a drink, bring one of your friends or whatever. And, like, that wasn't even good enough. Like, it was, like, you'd think that would make them want to come more because then it's, like, they have 2 girls to choose from. Right. But, like, no, they couldn't be bothered.
I really don't understand it.
Oh, and someone else made a reservation at a restaurant. And I went there. Not as, like, a threesome thing. As, like, just, like, we're just, like, my friend and I are hanging out. And, like, and they made a reservation at a restaurant, talked to me 30 minutes before. And then never showed up. I was like, what was the point of that?
Right? I was like, I don't know what goes on in people's heads.
I'm like, I was like, I wonder if he actually died. Like, did he die? Because who would do that? And like, if so, why would he do that? Like, oh, joke's on me. I went to a good restaurant, like, by my, like, right? With my friend, like, ooh, you know? But people are, I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't get it either because, like, what is the point of being on there if you're not actually going to meet the person or even talk to them?
I think
that's
like
weird.
I imagined that guy that did that stand-up thing on for the dinner. I was like thinking, I'm like tried to really understand like why he would do that, and I was thinking he's probably some 400-pound guy, or some total loser that's just like gets a thrill from from setting up a date.
Yeah.
Like, obviously has a fake picture.
Yeah.
And then, like, knows that I could never, like, that I would be like, okay, like, I'm not into you.
Yeah.
And then, so we can't actually go to the date, but just, like, tries to take it as far. And then it's like, you know?
Right.
Or something. I don't know. Or maybe he just gets, like, some sick satisfaction out of, like, lying to women and, like, tricking them.
I had like, one girl I matched with on Tinder just recently, and it was an actual guy. Well, we matched, and then they messaged me talking shit. Like, you fucking lose, or like something like that. And I knew,
what?
And I was like, you emo bitch boy, go fuck yourself, or something like that. I knew it was like a dude, but there's creating like a girl, like a profile, like it's a woman, but it was actually a guy. And as soon as we matched, he just talked shit to me. And I knew it was a guy because you could tell by the grammar and what he was saying.
I don't know what the point. He set up a fake girl profile just to like attack people on.
I know, right?
What?
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? All right, let's talk about this.
God.
What are the guys that you swipe right on when you're looking at? Okay, we're gonna give some tips for people out there. You talk about from a female perspective. I'll talk about what guys.
I have a boyfriend now, by the way, so I haven't done this in a couple of years.
Yeah, by the way. We'll probably won't watch this. Maybe we'll. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But So when you're on, what are the turn-offs and turn-ons when you're on looking at guys' dating profiles? What should they do? What should they do for their pictures and their profile that would be interesting or that you would swipe on? You do it for guys. I'll do it for girls.
Oh God,
I know
I'm trying
exactly.
to think. The problem is, like, I'm just so picky. I don't even know if I can really clarify it. So I usually just keep swiping until it says there's no more. Then I'm like, what?
Right?
So I guess I would say, like, no one's good enough.
Right?
But, like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, any sort of, like, sideways hat and, like, gangster sign, like, that's a big no. Or, like, you know, maybe...
The shirtless selfies in the mirror.
Yeah, no, that's a definite no. Or, like, anything where there's, like, Doritos and, like, soda in the picture, like, also a no.
Right.
Yeah, just bait. I think, but I think, yeah. That's just me.
And obviously, does what they say matter, or is it more just?
Yeah, if there's any typos, also no.
So grammar important. Yeah, I would say what I look for is, first of all, when I first started doing the online dating thing was when I first went to Western when I was like 9 years ago or whatever. I was on Plenty of Fish. There was a girl on there really pretty. We were talking, and we decided to meet. And as soon as she walked in, I knew I was instantly not attracted to her because she was like overweight. She was a bigger girl, but all she had was headshots, and she was blonde. She was really pretty. But like the second, you know right away if you're attracted to someone. They've actually done studies where they say literally in less than a second, your brain has already decided if you're attracted to somebody before you're even consciously aware of it. It's so you know instantly if you're attracted, you know, from a male point of view, you know right away. And so then we just had lunch, and it was a total waste of time for both of us because I knew instantly this was going nowhere, but I wasn't going to be rude. So we sat and ate and talked. So from that point on, I was like, unless she's showing like what she looks like, I would say ladies out there that are insecure about their body or the way they look, just fucking post a picture of your whole body and show what you fucking look like. Don't just try to place. I mean, when I'm scrolling through and there's like 6 headshots, then I know. You're not happy with your body. You know. You're probably overweight and you're embarrassed about it, or you have low self-esteem. You don't want to just put yourself out there, which is fine. Do your thing, but you're never going to meet someone if you're lying. You'll find someone no matter what. No matter what you look like, you'll find someone. So just be honest. Otherwise, guys are not like girls. We're not going to like meet you and be like, your personality's so amazing. Fuck it. Let's do it. Like looks matter to men. You know, mostly that's like the number one thing. Like for women, it's probably personality. For guys, it's like definitely looks first, and you still have to have personality and all that stuff. But guys are so visual that we know right away, and it's like you're not gonna fool anybody. You're not gonna trick a guy into being with you by like just posting headshots.
True.
Like,
that won't.
You have to. I'm telling you, and I've talked about this with my other guy friends. Just post what you look like. Just do it. You know, so that's number one. Yeah, some of the things that you touched on as well, but I would say, it's just like, it's almost like a numbers game. I've kind of gone back to like going out to meet people is way better than just the online thing, you know? And I'm trying to think if there's anything else specifically, but I don't know. You have to be really careful. Like those profiles where you could tell they're just like, you better have your shit together if you can handle me. Like they're just so full of themselves. Yeah. You're like, I need someone that can keep up with me. I was like, who the fuck are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know. I remember reading a bunch of ones where I'm like, wow, you're mean.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
or they're like, I remember someone saying something like, you know, don't play any fucking mind games with me. Well, I don't play games, but you're welcome to try. And all this stupid, I'm like,
I know, right? What kind of relationship are you looking to set up right now?
You're already in a fight with me.
Yeah, we're already fighting, and we haven't even met yet. So, one last thing on the actual date. This is so important. People need to work on their conversation skills. I cannot tell you how many dates I've gone on with women, and this was really shocking to me because I always thought women would be more talkative and better communicators. There's so many dates I've gone on with women where it's like a Q&A session where it's literally like, pretend we're on a date, ask me some questions about anything, dinner or just ask me anything.
Do you like this restaurant?
Yeah, it's okay.
Me too.
And then just keep going. Ask me a few questions about what I like or whatever.
So,
I'm the girl, you're the guy. This is what you don't do, everybody, on a fucking date. Okay? Go ahead.
So, what'd you get up to today?
Oh, not much. I just, I woke up, worked, just the usual stuff. Not much really happened, but yeah, just work.
Cool.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah, that's it. There's no, okay, now here's how you do it. Ask me that question again.
So, what'd you get up to today?
Oh, went to work. Nothing too exciting. We were super busy today. We're normally not busy on Wednesdays, but it went pretty well. And then, yeah, after work, went home, got a quick workout in, just the usual kind of stuff. What about you? How was your day? Were you guys busy? You work at that restaurant downtown. I haven't been there yet. What's that like? Do you guys see? Is that difficult? I've been on so many dates where it's literally like, ask a question, get an answer.
Well, maybe
and then no follow-up, no anything. And so I'm under all this pressure to just constantly carry the whole thing the whole time of I'm just going to keep asking you questions and you show zero interest in anything I do. I've been on dates where girls literally have not asked me a single question about anything. Like, what do you do? What's your business like? How'd you get started? Where do you live? Literally nothing. It's just I ask the question, they give the answer, and not just one girl, multiple girls. Lots of women are like that.
Maybe it's because you said you're strictly targeting like super good looking women.
Are they dumb?
Maybe they just don't have very good personalities. Maybe you should go for like
what?
Maybe like one notch under that. Someone who has like developed a personality.
I know, maybe, huh? One thing I've always liked about you is that you are a good conversationalist.
Thank you.
You ask interesting questions, you're thoughtful, you can carry a conversation. And I never really thought about it until I started going on dates. But being a good conversationalist is actually a skill set. Being able to like ask questions and just be interested is different. So you just have to work on that, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like show some interest. It just makes the date that more exciting. Plus you want to feel like the person's interested in getting to know you. I've literally been on like Bumble communicating with the last story and then I'm done. But this girl I matched with on Bumble, we talked. And typically when you match with somebody, you need to set up the date immediately. You quickly talk and then you set up a meet for coffee or drinks or whatever you want to do. Like, hey, how are you? I literally get right to it. We talk briefly and I'm like, what are you up to? You seem super cool or you seem whatever. Let's grab a drink tomorrow night or let's go grab some coffee. Like, what are you up to? I try to get face-to-face right away. Because I found through experience, if you don't set it up right away, the chances of it happening drop significantly day by day. Like, rapidly. It's like, if you don't do it then, it's almost not going to happen. And so...
Well, because it's like online. It's like, why not? Yeah, it's not like...
And a lot of people
someone you're seeing at a restaurant you always go to. It's just like, that's the point.
Yes.
Is to meet.
And a lot of times when you match with somebody, you only match with them because they couldn't fall asleep, so they reached over and grabbed their phone, sitting next to them, and because they're bored and they can't sleep, so they're swiping and you matched. And then you have a quick little conversation and they go to sleep and they forget all about it in the morning and they go about their life. Or they're bored at the doctor's office or they're at a red light or they're at the grocery store and they're like, swipe, swipe, swipe. And they meet like, hey, how are you? Cool. And then they're done and they forget all about it. And so you need to quickly set it up. So there's one girl on Bumble. I tried to set it up. We talked for actually a few days. I was like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? You want to grab coffee? I can't remember exactly what I said. She goes, actually, I kind of want to take more time to get to know you first before, we'd already been talking. She's like 30 or whatever, like for days. I'm like, okay, 3 weeks of talking before we finally...
And she lived in Bellingham?
Lived in Bellingham. We were both from Port Angeles.
Did she not get that you can't really get to know someone over the internet very well?
It was weird. We had great conversations through text on Bumble. We seemed to have a lot in common.
Did you guys talk on the phone at all?
No. Maybe we should have tried that. And so, we messaged back. Finally, after 3 weeks, we met at the Temple Bar downtown. She came and we talked. Barely said a word. It was like the strangest thing because you get when you're messaging people on these dating apps, you have so much time to edit and think about what you're going to say that you could sound charming, funny, thoughtful, interesting, and then you meet them in real life. And you meet them in real life. I totally
do that.
Yeah. You meet them in real life and you're like, oh my God, like,
this is not the same person.
Done. Yeah. So I don't know. I would say those are the biggest things. Yeah. For me, is like work on conversational skills, and guys typically have to take charge, and so that's typically, I don't mind running the conversation and like, orchestrating things, but try working on better conversations.
Effort in too.
Well, thanks so much for doing this. I'm so happy that you came down.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We haven't seen each other in fucking like a year.
I know.
Which is crazy. I'm going to see you again next month though for your birthday, which I'm excited for. And I don't know why you've kept Tika from me all this time, but I'm not going to take it personally.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys.